we'll just.
Welcome to the Weasel. Welcome to the Weasel. Whip out your dicks and shove them in your ass. Welcome to the Weasel with Mike and
Hey,
Jonah.
hey, dude. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, brother. I've been. Hold on, I'm trying to figure out how to. How do I make me small and you big?
You want to click on the little square at the top right corner of my screen.
Got it.
That'll make me big and you small.
You're big now. That's the way I like you, dude.
Thanks. Hey, stay big. you know.
Stay big, dude.
Actually, I'm not as big as I was before.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that the other day I put on a shirt, and
Okay.
typically this shirt, it needs to be a little bit fucking, not a lot, but just a little bit stretched out on the sides to give it like a little bit more of a loose feeling.
Like a pre-stretch before you put it on.
Yeah, like a little bit of a pre-stretch to give you, get the shirt off of my mid garments or my mid bits,
Yeah,
and my
middle.
handles. Yeah, my handles. My
Your
love handles. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'm talking about love handles. And so, but yesterday I put this shirt on, and
Quick point, dude.
okay,
For the longest time as a youth, I knew that they were referred to as love handles, but I didn't actually know what that meant until well past when I should have put two and two together. It's so that when someone's behind you fucking you, they have some handles to grab onto, and
correct.
that's the origin of if you have fat on the sides of your midsection, someone could, in theory, grab them and then fuck you from behind using them.
Right. Yes. And they're effective at that as well. They're great for holding on to. I don't know if you've ever
Bro.
had sex with somebody with some nice love handles, but man,
Dude, no, dude, even if I was just fucking some chick with like prominent love handles, I couldn't grab on to her fat roll and fuck her with it.
You can.
No, you can't, dude.
You can, dude.
There's no way.
Easy.
There's
You
no
just-
way
you
she's
just-
okay with that, dude.
It's just where your hands typically would go on the hips. You just move them up a little bit and just fucking hold on.
Yeah, but if you get a thumb in to somebody's fat roll, dude, nobody loves that. I think that's a universal shitty feeling for human beings. If someone like grabs a fat roll of yours.
See, no, you're imagining it from the wrong direction, right? Because you're grabbing it from behind. It's actually your four fingers digging in and creating like a handhold, like when you're rock climbing. And it's actually it goes from being gross because it's two thumbs to sexy because it's four fingers on either side, eight fingers. So you think you're gripping and you're not squeezing with your thumbs. You're squeezing your fingers against your palms. You're just getting a whole hand of this fucking whole handful.
I don't know, man. I feel like maybe there's a right way to do it, but every way in my head it sounds like I would not enjoy that.
Kind of sounds like you just don't like fucking fat people. Is that what I'm hearing right now? Is that what you're saying to me right now? How dare you?
Yeah, no fatties, dude.
Okay. Everybody's entitled to their personal preferences,
Yeah. No fatties in my household. That's not to say that I haven't broken that rule before, but for the most part, no. I do not want to fuck fat women, and not saying there's not goodness in it. There's goodness there. Just not my personal preference.
Yeah. Fair.
But if I was going to, I think it'd be mad disrespectful just to grab him by the fucking fat roll and give him a pounding.
It's a bit like it's about like choking, dude. You know, when a chick's really into choking, she's like really into choking. You know what I mean? It's similar to that.
No, it's not.
Yes, it totally is. Yeah, it's the same feeling. It's the same effect.
No, sir.
It is, certainly, dude. Yeah, 100%.
I mean, I think they both should be considered crimes.
Well, you know, I mean, choking to an extent is considered a crime.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, you can't just do that to somebody.
No, you gotta. There's got to be some prerequisites.
Sorry, buddy. Dude, I completely derailed the story you were getting into immediately.
Huge tangent, but that's okay, dude, because that's what we do on this podcast is we tangent.
Right.
So yesterday, I put on my shirt, and then, dude, I didn't have to stretch it out at all. I was like, oh damn, and I was like, this shirt feels really loose. And Curly's like, yeah, you know, you've been working out a lot. Like, oh fuck, dude, it actually worked. You know, working out a little bit. It actually worked out a little bit, dude.
If you just work out consistently and don't eat trash.
Right. You lose weight. You lose fat. You know.
Yeah.
Like, oh, damn, bro. So, yeah, I'm feeling not as big as I was before, which is cool.
Where would you rank yourself as far as like your lifetime of fitness? Like, is this some of the best shape you've ever been in right now, or you think, like in the Marines, you were in better shape?
I think it was different types of like being in shape, right?
Yes, but as your general overall fitness level.
Overall fitness level, I think I'm probably stronger now than I was in the Marines. But you know, I was in pretty all right shape before I went into the Marines as well, because I was doing a lot of running and a lot of strength exercise and stuff. I was in pretty good shape then, but also I was eating trash and not taking care of my body. I was thinking about this yesterday. We were kind of talking about it a little bit about like desire for education, right? You know, but I was thinking about this yesterday after I fucking smoke showed myself doing the rugs yesterday.
You smoke showed yourself?
Yeah, I smoked myself out, dude. I was so fucking tired at the end of the fucking the fucking day. Smoke showed myself's probably not the right term. I don't even know what that means, to be honest.
Dude, I mean, anything. I think you used it incorrectly. I think a smoke show typically refers to a hot person.
Oh, definitely not me, bro. Absolutely not.
Well, hey man, I've been. So you're losing your love handles, is what you're telling me.
Oh yeah, my love handles aren't going away. It's probably the first time in my life I've not had a fat back. Yeah.
That's good. That's good stuff, man.
Yeah. So it's been good. But yeah, I think now I'm probably in better shape. But what I was saying before was, I was thinking about it yesterday. I was like, if I had known some of the things to do to take care of my body, like less caffeine, less sugar, more exercise, and fucking maybe some of the other stuff as well, like meditation and things like that when I was younger, I was like, fucking, man, like, I'd be giant, dude, because I was drinking so much caffeine between, like, the ages of, man, 13 to, man, a couple of years ago, right? Fucking heaps of it. I was just smashing sugar and caffeine in some of the most developmental years of my life. And I was like, I think about how, like, my size now, like, my height, my breadth, and all this. I was like, fucking, what if I hadn't done that stuff eaten and drank so much of that shit when I was a teenager on that, specific developmental time frame. Like how tall would I be? How much more, how broad would I be? What would my body look like? What would my mind look like?
Yeah, dude, but maybe you needed to go through those periods in order to learn the lessons of them, That sounds a little Buddhist-y of me, but I don't think there's a lot of value in like what if, Oh, if only I had, been meditating for the past 10 years, I'd be
as opposed
the wisest man on the...
Yeah.
Yeah, whereas, and this is what I told you yesterday, and that, like, you're literally doing that now. Right. So, like, don't chastise yourself for not doing the behavior you're actively doing.
Just because you didn't do it back then.
Yeah.
Like, you idiot, dude.
Dumbass.
You should have been buying a house when you were fucking like 12, man. Fuck, dude. Why didn't you save your money, bro?
Dude, on the food note, I've been listening to that book Sapiens. Have you heard of it?
No.
It's a kind of like a history of humans.
You did mention it yesterday, but tell me about it.
Yeah. I was listening to it while I was painting my fucking railing in my house, which I've probably mentioned on this podcast before. Dude has been taunting me as a super pesky bottom of my to-do list task that I'm finally doing today. It took me 6 months. I walked in this house after buying it, looked up at that fucking railing, saw that it was wood colored and not matching the rest of the white trim in the home, and it irked me. And then it's taunted me every fucking day since. Yes.
I wanted to ask, did you actually complete everything on the top of your list down to the bottom and you had no tasks left? Or is it because you just decided you had to get this one done before it fucking drove you insane?
The first one. I did everything else. And the whole time, things have like pumped up. It's always been on the bottom, and I've never been able to get to it because I've been doing more pressing or less shitty things.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and this is the one that I've been staring at, fucking wanting to cross off so badly, but I haven't had the wherewithal.
Right.
I guess you would say to get to it. But anyway, I was listening to that book, and on the food note, it talks about kind of compares like, hey, why do we have these wild fucking binge sessions, particularly when it comes to like sweet food? And it's like going back to like hunter-gatherer days, like we're just like if we would have encountered like a fig tree, we'd be like, oh fuck, I need to eat as much of this as quickly as possible before the fucking like bonobos show up and start fucking up this tree, So like you would just gorge yourself anytime you found like really ripe fruit.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And that's just in us, dude. When we something lights up the brain in the right way, we're like, oh fuck, this is rare. At least back then that was super rare. And then you just fucking binge it. But you're also running, you're walking around all the time. You have the fitness of a marathon runner.
Climbing trees to get to the fruit in the first place.
Yeah. You're not just door dashing fucking Ben and Jerry's to your house.
Right. Not only have we managed to make the sweetest of things, like we've chemically modified shit to make it the sweetest, most delicious and addictive aspect of sugar that we possibly could. But then also we've given ourselves the easiest of access as well. Almost to the point where it's cheaper to eat shitty food than it is to eat healthy food. And in a lot of cases, that's true.
That's definitely the case when it comes to like fast food, dude. That's one of the things they talk about. Have you heard of the concept of a food desert?
I think I've heard of it, but explain it to me. Like I'm 5.
A food desert is a section of geographical area that could be inside of a city, doesn't really matter, rural, urban, whatever. But a section of the city in which there's no grocery stores, so like of fresh available food. For like a certain amount of mileage away from like a neighborhood, say.
Oh, right.
So then, but what there is a lot of cheap fast food, and it's these areas are considered food deserts because like it's you have a lack of actual nutritious food readily nearby.
That's interesting.
Typically in like poorer communities, people that don't have transportation potentially, or like maybe have a bike or
it's interesting because that would be like a product of like just basic capitalist business, right? Because they're not making as much money in those areas, so of course why would they open a store? And actually, I've heard of that situation happening recently where especially in Australia, like shops are closing because they can't control the amount of shit that people are just stealing, right? Because if you like, especially if you're just like a standalone grocery store that doesn't have like the security there all the time like they do
like
in
a
shopping
corporate
centers.
backing.
Yeah. Some kind of like, no, even the corporate ones, right? Even like Woolworths and stuff. Like the staff can't stop you from stealing. They could try, but it's like.
Also, why would you?
Yeah, what's the point? Like fucking. It's just a giant corporation that has a heap of money, bro. Like they can. Well, for one, they can afford to fucking. They can afford to pay for the few bits of shit, stolen shit. I'm not condoning thievery, but like, really, like realistically, who are they stealing from? Right? They're not, and it's more. The result of that thievery is that these businesses shut the store, right? Which creates a fucking, obviously a lack of better options for everybody else that lives there.
Yeah, might turn into a food desert.
I think that's happening. I think that's happening a lot. It definitely during COVID was pretty bad. Remember they were having a lot of fucking shit get stolen from like, was it Rite Aid or some of those other shops throughout like California and fucking around.
Yeah, dude. If you work in a grocery store, particularly, like there's nothing of personal enough value to you there.
No. That
you should be risking a physical altercation with somebody attempting to steal.
No.
Which, dude, that reminds like my cousin managed like a local grocery store for a while. Shitty in the hood, like shitty fucking store, like paid dog shit. Dude, and this chick was shoplifting and they like called her out and they're like, fuck. They're like throwing hands and wrestling in the parking lot, and I'm like,
why?
That's some Florida ass shit,
Yeah, it is actually. Yeah, you hear about that shit happening from Florida all the time.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you doing? Who gives a fuck? Yeah,
you're not gonna. Well, the thing is, she could have been told she'll lose her job if people keep stealing from the shop, dude. That shit does happen. Like business.
Not my cousin, dude. She's just nuts and and likes a good confrontation.
Yeah, I gotcha. She's just waiting for somebody to steal. She
got
I'll fuck you up, dude.
Dude, you got that Florida in you, dude. I mean, dude, it's in me too. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, dude. Sometimes
what's still in there? Right?
Yeah, I catch a little crazy eye, and I'm
like crazy eye, dude.
Let's go.
Something deep in there. It's deep inside.
No, that hasn't happened for a while. I'm a pretty nice guy nowadays.
You're a lovely guy, dude.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Guy, dude. Tell more people.
Hey, fucking everybody that listens to this already knows, dude.
I bet they do. I bet they do, man.
Yeah, interesting. In what context were you listening about food deserts?
Oh, that was actually in a class that I had when I was in college.
Oh, right.
It was a class on food.
Yeah, gotcha.
I think we did talk about it, but it was like fucking episode 20 or something.
Oh yeah, probably ages ago.
Yeah.
Do you think that the government should do more to provide food for like its own populace in that way?
I mean, I think that's one of the. That's a weird one in like merging, like private and government business. But I mean, at some basic level, yeah, it's the government's responsibility to feed its people. But not, I don't say responsibility. I don't know.
I mean, it kind of is, dude. Like, if you don't have a fed populace, you don't have a populace. Like you don't have anybody.
People need food, you know. Right. So it's a good idea to at least allow them the ability to buy it.
Right. Yeah.
From a location, but like I imagine they would just offer like subsidies. Like, hey, we'll fucking pay you to put a store in here, Walmart or fucking whatever.
It seems to me like, at least this is just kind of like my own personal opinion. It seems to me like the role of government should be to make sure that the people are fed. Maybe not directly, like you're saying, but the other thing is that make sure that they're able to be fed without being like fucking screwed out of like their money, right? You know what I mean? So like part of I heard an analyst talking about the inflation crisis worldwide. I mean, it's happening all over the world. Like the inflation is just going fucking skyrocketing and fucking people's money's worth less and fucking people are having a hard time getting loans for houses and the interest rate's really high. But during all this economic downturn, a lot of the businesses are still making record profits, right? Because they're not paying, like, say, farmers properly. And like that's a huge thing here is, like, Woolworths got caught out raising the prices of all their meat and stuff, but not increasing the amount of money they were paying to the farmers for the meat, right?
I mean, if I'm running Woolworths and it's my job to set the prices of the meat, yeah, but it's also my job to keep profits up.
Right.
Makes me look good, Maybe I go up to the corporate office,
Does make you look good and gives
you
get
a little promotion, dude.
Yeah, it looks good for the business. It gets you a little bit up there. The problem is that the government also hasn't maintained its stance on anti-monopoly laws. Right? So when you have a business that has I mean you look at like say trying to think of some American companies. I mean, most of the grocery stores are owned by two companies, right? But those two companies also own stocks of each other. So they're all under the same umbrella. Like Kroger's and fucking shit. They're all owned by, like, they all own each other essentially, like these massive corporate like blankets that cover a large like a subsidiary area, I guess you could say. Like they have all these different businesses under these fucking bigger conglomerates, which are under another bigger conglomerate, and then those big ones like BlackRock and shit, they all own fucking like large amounts of shares in all these companies. I know you're looking at me like this motherfucker's going on some kind of conspiracy rant, and I'm not. That's just how it works, and you can look it up yourself if you want to. I don't give a fuck.
Why don't you look that up? So jot that down.
Jot that down. All right? So what happens is when you allow a business to get so big, right, that they have no competition, they can raise the prices as much as they want. That's what the free market was all about, right? Is if you have a competition, then you have to compete for price because people will go to the cheaper one or the better one or whatever it is, right? Well, that doesn't exist as much anymore because everything's owned by the same companies, essentially, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, even like franchises, right? If you had like a franchise supermarket, you don't get to set the prices of your supermarket. You do to an extent, but if the company itself tells you have to raise the prices to a certain point, then you have to raise that up to a certain point, right?
I'm just thinking like, say I'm Kroger.
Okay.
And like the government comes to me and they're like, "Hey, we noticed you've made a few acquisitions of late, and like you kind of bought all the stores in the area, which is not cool with us because you can control the price thing, and we're kind of big on the no monopoly thing,
Right.
so we're gonna need you to not do that." And I'd go, "Ooh."
Oof.
Well, you know what? I do own all the stores, and like therefore all the food for the people. So I don't know. Maybe there's been delays.
Yeah.
Maybe food doesn't get to the shelves as quick. There's an election coming up, isn't there?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you probably like food on the shelf
Right. Yeah.
for that? And they go,
You're right, dude.
good point.
Yeah.
And I go, yeah, so how about you fuck off?
Right. Yeah. See, what you've just described there is a situation where private corporations have largely more power than the people that are in charge that have been elected. However you believe the electoral process is efficient or not, whatever, it doesn't matter anyway if those people have less power than the businesses that are running all the food, running all the energy, running all the fucking technology, running all the fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if all those companies, right, really are owned or own each other, then there's not really any competition between them. There's not even factions between Apple and fucking Microsoft, really, is there? There's not a faction between Kroger's and Walmart if they all have shares of each other, right? Because it doesn't matter if you're doing bad and they're doing good, you're still making money off their progress. That's why technology's kind of stagnated, right? Like, really, I mean, like, the fucking
what are you talking about?
They've released new iPhones almost every year for the last how long, dude? And they've not gotten that much better. And planned obsolescence as well, and that's been proven too in court. Like, they fucking have been called out and said, "We know
bro,
you guys are
they're
doing planned
working on
obsolescence."
shit, man. Damn, bro.
Yeah, I know what they're working on, dude. I know what they're working on.
Damn, dude. You just sound. What have you done for me lately? Damn,
No.
sounds.
Listen,
It sounds like they
hey.
made a pretty good product, and then they just keep selling it, and you're
Well,
have you developed it more? Not as much as previous times.
Listen, what I'm saying is I completely understand the financial aspect of trying to make more products to sell to more people and stuff like that, right? But there's this like weird lapse, right? Maybe it's just my thinking. Maybe I'm a fuckhead. I'm not sure, dude. I probably am. Okay. There's just this weird lapse in the way I think about it is if you don't have to actually progress your technology or your product, right, to still make more money off it, you're not going to, are you? Right. If I can sell you the same product plus 0.0001% increase in whatever it is, and make fucking 25% more money off it, right? Versus like actually going out and really developing some kind of new thing, right? I'm going to do that. I'm just going to sell make as much money off of as little product as I can. That's economics, right? That's how you do sales. It's how you sell shit. It's how you make big money, right? But if it's all companies, dude, all doing it, then we're gonna have like this weird technological cease eventually, right? If that's the trend and it keeps on like it is.
Yeah, maybe, dude. Or maybe there's a young upstart, dude, gets into the fucking phone game, dude. Before you know it, dude, everybody's like, man, iPhones are so expensive and it's all the same shit, Have you heard of Nokia? Their phones are indestructible.
Yeah.
And everybody starts, you know what? Yeah. You know what? Like, having social media on my phone is too much for me anyway. I'm going back to a Nokia phone.
Yeah.
Dude, and Nokia disrupts the market, man. You're not taking into account the market disruptors.
Yeah. You're right. There are market disruptors. Actually, that's a thing too. People are doing that, aren't they? They're getting rid of their smartphones and going back to the bricks. I think Nokia even released a new phone not long ago, didn't they?
I'd probably get one, dude. I'm kind of there anyway. Like, I don't have any of the social media stuff, but like, I do like the idea of having just like a phone that you use to call people, maybe call people, text people.
Yeah.
You know, and that's about it. Whereas having a fucking supercomputer in your pocket with access to the internet is pretty nuts for you mentally.
Yeah. Well, because we're monkeys, dude. We like playing with it. It's fun.
Dude, I think that was part of the reason why I started listening to this Sapiens book. Just like understanding the origins, son.
Yeah. What else have you learned from it?
That there was quite a few different versions of human beings, of human, and like Neanderthals being one. There was another one that like I fucking can't remember all the names. But essentially, there was probably like who knows how many, but you know, different regions developed differently, and it got to the point where like eventually, when you divert enough evolutionary, you can't produce fertile offspring with each other anymore. Okay. So take it. Think like the donkey and the horse example. Yeah. A donkey and a horse have a single common grandmother somewhere far way back, and like they can still fuck and still produce a organism, but you make a mule and it's sterile. Right. So it can't reproduce on its own and continue the species.
Right.
And they think that this kind of happened. Well, there's a couple of different theories of how it happened, but of like why there's only Homo sapiens left. Us is when there used to be all these different versions of humans that like split off and went into different. Went into different, you know, they're just developed in different regions over different times, over different timelines. Yeah. But essentially that like Homo sapiens is the same version of us that like, you know, the looks, he said the example of like, if like a Homo sapien from whatever it is, I'm going to get these numbers wrong, but like, let's say 50,000 years ago, if that Homo sapien showed up in a morgue, like the mortician wouldn't know the difference between like that and a normal and like a modern day person.
Oh, right.
Like the same fucking thing. Okay. Anyway,
isn't that kind of like track? Isn't that kind of a quick jump, right? Like because didn't Homo sapiens kind of like pop up seemingly out of nowhere and like. Because I know there's like Neanderthal DNA within us, so they definitely outfucked the Neanderthals. I know that's one theory. But is there much DNA from the other ones?
Well, the theories are either that we merged with Neanderthal DNA, which is certainly a thing, but to what extent, you know, or was it? And that's on the nice side of things. The other side of things is. Like, why are we only left?
Right.
Genocide, baby.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And there's probably a combination of the two. But like Homo sapiens were just developed socially better. So we're able to like strategize, essentially, was our big competitive advantage over all of our other like human brothers and sisters, like species wise.
So where do the Homo sapiens come from? Right.
I think.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like if they're not,
are you asking like the missing link question?
Well, like it's just like if because there's all these different species of human, right? Like like of the sapiens, I guess I don't know what do you call them, but fucking like the Neanderthals, Homo sapiens, Homo whatever, fucking blah, 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 right? We're not like a combination of like a Neanderthal fucking what are the fucking I know what you're talking about. There's like the ones that were seafaring, right? That they found evidence of in like Greece.
Yeah, there was ones that were like on islands. There was a dwarf version.
A pygmy. They're like pygmies, right? Real short.
Yeah, real short, but like all like human-esque, real human, like not. I can't think of like a sister species of us.
Yeah. So, but like Homo sapiens aren't a combination of like a pygmy species and a Neanderthal species, right? We're not we're not that. So like, where is it that we come from? And similar to them as well, like where is it that those splits happen? Is it like each one of them comes from a specific type of primate even further back, or
maybe
do we come from the same primates? I guess that's what I'm asking. I guess it's like
I would think probably
evolutionary theoretical questions. I suppose
I would think probably the same primate, and then they probably explained it in the book, but I was doing something. But I think the way to think about it is that there was like an origin species, and then all these through like evolutionary mutation and location, natural selection, times like tens of thousands of years. There was a time that like what would become a Neanderthal and what would become a sapien could have fucked and like we're still compatible, but there probably became a time at some point that a Neanderthal and a sapien would fuck, and it produced an unsterile offspring, kind of like the mule,
right?
And so like that wouldn't have survived. So then you get these two distinct branches that keep going,
right?
But the real question is, why are we the only version still here?
Yeah, the only version left.
Of all of our like humanoid other people.
Yeah, like how long did it take? I wonder if it was a combination of natural disasters as well, because you have like the Younger Dryas theory, where the fucking asteroid impacts fucking disrupted the planet and created mass floods and all that stuff, and fucking like Göbekli Tepe, and like they figured that human like there were people civilizations much earlier than they thought, based off of when these fucking temples were created and why. And so it could be just like one of the things is that maybe Homo sapiens were just in the right spot at the right time when the fucking shit just fucking went sideways, Yeah. But you got to wonder too, like how intermingled these groups were, because you have Homo sapiens spread out across the entirety of the planet, right? You have them in South America, North America, Australia, Europe, Middle East.
Apparently it didn't always. It wasn't always that way though. Like it was just in this remote corner of Africa, right? And then they just kept spreading out over like tens of thousands of years. Kept spreading out more and more, but you would also, this was like hunter gatherer, so like you're constantly traveling and moving around, and maybe a particularly charismatic leader comes around, and we need to go over there, and and that happens on like a long enough timeline. You spread out pretty far, and move into others, like other people's, other humanoid or human species territories and then compete for resources, and then either through war or just whatever, forced them out, ate their shit.
War, disease,
they died.
Famine, natural disasters.
I think that's again that's some of the like the darker theories, but like I can't remember exactly what the other way is, but like there's other ones that were just more like, oh, we were just neighbors, but like they were smarter, took more resources. As a result, more of them, starved or didn't make it, or joined the that band of people but died.
Perhaps not being able to create offspring, like you said.
Correct.
Before.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's really cool. Sounds like a good book. How long is it?
Fucking long as shit, dude. It's like a 16-hour audiobook.
Yeah, right on. Where are you?
I'm like 3 hours in.
Human history are you at the moment?
They're talking about this as far as like, kind of like there was all these other stuff, but like, was it war? And like, how much do we really know? How much can we know? Because like you can't tell a lot about culture from like, stuff that survived, like archaeological stuff necessarily. And like, that was one of the points they brought up, was like, if you were a hunter-gatherer society and band, and like you have your own unique particular culture, even from the band, in the next valley over, but you had to move all the time.
Yeah.
So you didn't want a lot of shit to move, So like they weren't nearly as materialistic.
There's not as much stuff left behind when they do find archaeological, like fossils and fucking
or like a lot of the
buildings.
One of the things they said was that, like, we refer to it as the Stone Age, right? But it's probably more practical to think of it as the Wood Age.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, because everything was fucking wood,
Well, that was just because they learned how to use stone tools, right? That's what it refers to, right? Is like the stone tools.
Yeah, but most things that they had would have been wood.
It's easier to cut wood down with a stone than it is with your fist, bro.
Yeah.
As we know.
You can, with enough effort, punch tree, get wood, but I'd recommend a hatchet.
Yeah, fucking oath, dude. It's hard on your hands. We'll just get that out there.
Yeah, dude.
You can always use your head, I suppose.
That was the problem with the Neanderthals, dude. Is like they just kept punching
wood.
Yeah, they just kept punching, dude.
For sure.
Well, dude, enough about my book. I guess this is gonna be book club. But you said that you were reading that Buddhism book that we started.
Yeah.
And I put down a while ago and haven't picked back up. But you have now almost read it to completion?
I'm probably halfway through it now.
Halfway.
Yeah,
Oops.
I'm about halfway through it. Yeah, I'm not super far through it. It is a very difficult read. And I think I stopped reading it for the same reason you did, was that why read textbook when I could read fiction book?
It's It's the why Buddhism is true by somebody. And me and Mike decided that we were going to read it together. And man, we have not done a good job.
No.
Mostly me.
Difficult read, man. Difficult read. I'm even finding it difficult to read it.
And then I got into, like you said, Red Rising, and shit was a wrap after that.
I read textbook when I can read fiction book. That makes me fucking, like fuck yeah, dude. It makes me riled up, ready to go, cheering for a side and wondering about what's going to happen next.
Yeah, as opposed to like having to do like internal mental work as I'm reading and being like, oh fuck. I've never thought about this concept before of how my mind might function. And you're like,
right.
God damn it.
Yeah. Well, it was funny. It's funny because when I was reading Red Rising, I think I'm on book 5. I'm not very far through it, but I'm on book 5. And I just realized that it's so intense, that book. It's so intense, and the characters, you really start. It's written so. I think it's written so well that it really draws you into feeling how, or at least thinking about how the characters are feeling and growing through each situation, because it really focuses a lot not just on what they're doing and why, but their own mental battles with them going through all these situations, like all the war, their friends dying, questioning whether what they're doing is right in the first place, and all this stuff. And I started, like, some of the stuff, I was like anxious to find out what happens next, but then also I'm like anxious because I'm like, fucking, what if it's bad? You know, what if something, you know, fucking, I'm starting to feel it. I was like, man, I think I got to take a little bit of a break. And so I was like, I'm gonna go read the exact opposite of that book, which is
the Buddhism book.
A Buddhism book, right? But then as I started reading it, I realized that some of the themes are the same as the Red Rising series as a whole, right? Because the whole theme of that book is trying to rise up from a tyrannical government to bring the low colors up, and then you find out that's not the case at all, but it is for some, but it's not for others, and the whole resistance is all very complicated.
It's complicated.
Life's complicated, right?
Yeah, shit's complicated.
And that's kind of what the
hold on.
Buddhism
By the way,
about.
that's the approach I want you to take to government and the corporate capitalism structure at large. You seem to kind of lump them into a category of like the evil man on the hill, and I want you to approach it from a mind of shit's complicated.
Listen, I fully understand that shit is complicated. Believe me, I do. For the sake of fucking who I am as a person, I think I've always just fucking been very extreme about my views about politics and corporatism and whatever. But believe you and me, I do recognize that it is complicated, and I don't fucking hate people that have money. I don't hate the guy who runs Woolworths. I don't fucking think he runs Woolworths anymore.
I'm not buying this at all, dude.
Listen, there is one dude somewhere in a fucking dark room with cigar smoke wafting around, and he's fucking hooked up to an IV of virgin's blood, and he owns everything. He owns everything, and he's fucking just making more money, and I don't know why he does what he does. I think it's because he's running out of virgin's blood, and he's fucking he's got time now. He's running out of it.
Do you think he's happy?
I think he's not happy at all, dude. I think he fucking hates himself, dude. Why else would you do the things that you do? I don't know. Anyway, so that's to say.
Does he not deserve our compassion?
Hey, I'm sure he does.
As a fellow,
to the point of compassion that he gives to other people, right?
That's not how compassion works, dude. Conditional compassion.
Yes, I say conditional compassion, and I'll tell you why. Right? If you have a person, say, that kills,
say, an evil man in a suit on a hill,
blood, right? Yeah, an evil man in a suit on a hill, dude, and he controls the lives and the deaths of thousands of people, right? And he chooses to kill half of them because it makes him more money. That is not a person that deserves compassion. That is a person that deserves the opposite of that, which is to be struck down and analyzed. I'm talking about putting these people in a fucking vault, dude.
Probably not easy, dude.
Vault, bro, and we'll do an experiment on them.
Dude, probably not easy decision to make, you know? Probably going through some internal turmoil, you know, when deciding to kill half people.
Right. Well, that's exactly what the Red Rising book series is about, right? It's about these people that make these decisions that affect the lives of millions of people, right?
Okay.
You know what I mean? So you're right.
I think so. Can you tell me about the Buddhism book, dude. I want to know what you've learned or some takeaways that you found. But so far, all you've said is "damn the man."
Damn the man. Down with the man, dude. Fucking set him on fire and burn him, bro. That's what Buddhism taught me.
We get a vault, yeah.
Put them in vaults and do experiments on their kids. Yeah, that's fucked up. Me and Kierley been watching the Fallout series as well. But
ooh, dude, I saw that. I kind of want to take a peek. Pretty good.
Good. It's really good. Yeah.
How far?
Everybody
go? Like how many episodes?
Finished it, dude.
Damn, binged it all, eh?
Yeah, we were trying to do like an episode a night, but we ended up watching a couple of them a night, and then we finished it last night. So
how good? 1 to 10.
1 to 10? Oh man, definitely up to 9, bro. At least, bro.
Oh, fuck a 9, bro.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
do you think Janie would like it?
Yeah, I think she would.
Okay,
I think she would. It builds tension so well. It's so, especially, and you don't have to have played the games. But like if you have and you enjoy them, you're really gonna like it because some of the stuff in there you just get like this, like because you've been in the vaults, you've walked around, you've kind of talked to people that live in the vaults in the games, and you always expect this like weird shit to be going on, and it does. It's fucking wild shit. The whole show is fucking crazy. Yeah.
Well, like I guess the games are all kind of different. Does it follow one of the narratives of the games, or it's its own series?
No, it's its own. It's its own story. And it takes place in around in California near Shady Sands. So if you played New Vegas, you'll recognize Shady Sands.
No, I didn't play New Vegas.
Yeah, I didn't play much of it, but it does talk about it. Some people are saying that the timeline in the show, it makes the timeline in New Vegas not canon, but I don't think New Vegas was ever really considered part of the Fallout canon anyway, because it was a different company that made the game. I don't know. People are weird about it, but
whatever.
The people who made the show genuinely loved New Vegas, and that's very apparent in the way that they go about it. But yeah, it's pretty good, man. It follows a chick from a vault, a dude who's in the Brotherhood of Steel as like is trying to be a knight, and it follows a ghoul. Whose story he obviously was from before the war, pre-war, so he's been alive for the last 200 and something odd years. And man,
don't tell me don't tell me.
I'm not going to tell you nothing, dude. But man, the way it builds tension is so good, and it just makes you really puts you there. Really well filmed. Sets were good. Fucking some of the characters, man. Characters are complicated. People are complicated, and
that's
they
good,
really
dude.
captured that.
We've talked about that.
Dude.
That's what we like.
Yeah. I think we talked about that at one point.
And a good artist.
Things are complicated, dude.
Yeah.
So,
by the way, can we get to the Buddhism book, please?
Oh, sorry, dude. So, one of the main takeaways from the Buddhism book is that people are complicated.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. It is, but no. So when I was reading the last few days, it was talking about this experience he had while he was meditating, where he was outside and he felt a tingle in his foot, and he heard a bird singing, and he felt this disconnectedness from both of them to the point where they were the same, if that makes sense. So the tingling in his foot was no different from the sound of the bird singing, which is no different from each other, and so they're the same. It was like this idea of lack of essence that's in a lot of Buddhist practice. Some of the stuff in this book are really hard to explain because, and part of the reason that it's so boring is because he has to explain where each of these ideas come from, and what they're actually about and what they mean in like the Buddhist language, and then there's like Hindu as well, and so he's like comparing the two, and it's really complicated. But a little bit of what I was telling you yesterday was there's this idea in Buddhism where they have a lack of essence, right? So it's a lack of that thing is actually that thing. It's more of a nothingness or an emptiness, right? So like I have a very Torn essence, you have a very Jonah essence. But these are essences that we experience through each other, and only because we're both here to experience those from each other. Does that make sense? It's like the idea of a tree falling in the woods. If there's nobody there to hear it, does it really make a sound? And it's like, it does make a sound, but there's nothing to receive that sound, right? There's nothing, the sound doesn't really exist, right? If there's nothing there to perceive it. Similar to how, like, if you have light, right? Well, you can't have shadows without light. But similarly, you couldn't have light without shadows because it would just be blinding, right? There wouldn't be any contrast between the light and the light reflecting off of things, right? That's the only reason we can see. That's like how our eyes have developed over time, evolutionary, right? Is because the way our cones are set up, and if it reflects the light back into them, and we see different colors and fucking. But ultimately, it's because there is some level of darkness, right? Because of the shadows, right? And that, right?
Let me ask a question.
Okay.
Say, there was a sudden affliction to the entire human race.
Okay.
That, you know what? Maybe it's a tiny bomb in everybody's brain except for mine, and it goes off, and everybody dies except for me.
Okay. Yeah.
Do I then not exist because there's nobody to perceive my essence anymore?
Well, I think you do exist because there is still other things, right, that are experiencing you, right? So, like, there's still trees. Everywhere you go, there's still trees, there's still earth, there's still wherever you are. And that's the idea that the essences don't really exist in the first place, right? Because we are all the universe experiencing itself. That's why you don't just fizzle out of existence when everybody else in the world just goes, poof, right? You're still there. That's kind of where it reflects on the Hindu idea, which is we're all one essence. We're all one thing. So, like, you are a part of the universe in the same way that you are a part of me, which is we're both humans. We're both friends. We're very good friends. We have this connection, right?
Yeah, but how do you explain annoying people then?
What do you mean?
Like, if someone's annoying, they're not me.
They are.
No.
Yeah, they are you. Sometimes you can be annoying. You've been annoying in the past. Certainly. I know I have. Actively. You
shut your mouth,
actively
dude.
annoying.
Don't tell people I'm annoying.
All right, say you're not annoying, right? And there are annoying people out there. You've never been annoying in your entire life, right?
Right.
There are annoying people out there, right?
Goddamn right.
Now, they are being annoying, and you are receiving that annoying and becoming annoyed, which is a transaction between you two, right? Which is a connection. See, if you were completely separate from them, then you wouldn't even recognize that they're being annoying in the first place. And that's how you're connected. We're all the same. Right?
Okay,
it's a weird concept.
What do you think, dude?
What do I think?
Do you think that it's from the way that I'm understanding this? It sounds like it's either it's all top down or bottom up as far as existence.
Right.
Are we all one existence that's like divvied down into a bunch of everything else? Or are we all individual existence that form one main collective?
Well, I think it's the same thing.
Fuck. I don't know.
And it ultimately is the same thing in that whether we're all singularities that form one existence or all one existence that forms into singularities, right? It's the same process. It's the same existence.
But like that separates me from the annoying guy. But
it doesn't, because you're all the same. I think not really. I choose not. I choose not. Maybe that's what happened to the Neanderthals, dude.
Yeah,
maybe
dude.
The Homo sapiens was like, nah, choose not.
Yeah, what do you think?
I think it only matters if it affects the way you interact with the universe. Does that make sense?
No.
I think that it doesn't matter if you believe in it being, or even is. I don't know if it matters if it's all of us becoming one thing or all of us not being in the one thing. We're all nothing. There is no essence, or there is a complete essence, or we're all one, or we're all separate. I don't think it matters unless it affects the way that you're interacting with the rest of the universe, right? So say I believe that we're all separate and we all become one, right? Now, if that causes me to treat everybody with a loving kindness and respect and compassion and understanding and working to, become one, right? Then I don't know if that's a bad thing, but that can be interpreted in a lot of different ways, right? So it doesn't ultimately matter.
Is your answer a non-answer and just be nice? Is that what you're saying?
Not even just be nice, because you can't just be nice, right? Because that's very objective, right? Or subjective, right? It's very subjective. Like, say somebody comes up to you and asks you for money. You can be nice and give them money. That's a nice thing to do.
That's not being nice.
It is being nice. You can give them money. Depends on the situation. Well, it depends on the situation, doesn't it? And that's where it becomes subjective.
I don't, dude.
And say somebody comes up to you and asks you for $50 because they can't afford milk, right? You don't give them that money, and that's kind of fucking rude. But also, there's a history with that person where they've been asking you for money heaps, dude.
Do you believe in God or not, man? Just answer the question.
We're all God, dude.
Got it. No? All right. Yeah.
But we're not.
Yeah, you're one of them. Gotcha. Okay.
Well, that's the thing, right? Is that, like, and that's what we were talking about yesterday with Rosicrucianism, is the idea that the splendor of godlyhood, if you want to call it that, or the essence of the creative being, the essence of the universe, lies within every single one of us, because we are of the universe itself. We weren't just manifested out of something that's not everything else around us. We're all, even our base elements are all commingled, right? And we just take on different forms. So Rosicrucianism is this idea that is within us, and so they would get closer to that by deep meditative practices and fasting and what is it called when they go on like the long walks? I can't remember what it's called.
A walkabout?
No. Yeah, well, I mean that too, basically. Yeah, it's like when they go to a pilgrimage, right? They go from wherever they are to a holy site or whatever. So they believed in the idea that essence of the universe is within all of us, and we can achieve that. We don't need a church to tell us what God is telling us to do, because he's fucking all of us, right? He's, so.
Yeah, like, who are you to tell God,
right,
me what God is better than me? I too God.
Yeah,
you also God, but like,
you God, I God. How come you God over me?
Yeah, no, I think both God.
Yeah,
gotta go,
dude. Yeah, fuck you. Yeah, so there's that, like, belief, and I think I kind of agree with that, in the sense that, in like a general sense, right? I mean, there's so many different things, like, and this is what this book has gone on about, is like there's so many like physiological aspects to meditation, and it's trying to link that with actual Hindu and Buddhist beliefs.
Yeah, dude. I mean, do mushrooms and then tell me that we're not all connected in some way. You know?
Exactly.
Like, it does feel like a truth is awakening, you know.
But then how is that experience then integrated into day-to-day life? Because a lot of times with mushrooms, acid, any psychedelics,
I forget.
Very fleeting I forget, dude. Feeling.
And then I don't like some people, right. Even though, I should love them because they're me.
Right. Well, and
Or
that's
a version of
where
me.
it gets
Or-
complicated. Yeah, that's where it gets complicated. There's a lot of history. There's a lot of ways of thinking about how you interact with people and stuff. Sure, yeah, we should be all compassionate, but also we need to have healthy boundaries so that we can survive. Right? We need to we protect ourselves and the people that we're around, and because think about it, right? Like if somebody's a cunt, you have an evolutionary desire to not be around that person. You don't want a cunt in your tribe, right?
Yeah, no cunt zone.
No cunt zone, dude. Fucking cunts get booted out of the fucking tribe.
No fat bitches. no
cunts. Perfect fucking society right there.
Yeah, dude. I'll take care of the rules, guys. I only got 2.
He God, dude. He God. This man God, bro. 2 rule, dude. 2 rule God, dude. It's not bad, man.
Just 2.
That's pretty good. Pretty good God right there.
Yeah,
dude.
but dude, that does beg the question: what do you do with the fat bitches and the cunts?
Oh, fuck the fat bitches, bro. I love the fat bitches.
Right.
Send them to my house. That's
right,
fine.
but like they're also you.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. More the merrier, bro.
Damn, so like I guess whenever you're having sex with someone, it's technically masturbation.
A little bit. Yeah. A little bit. If we're all one.
I don't know if I believe, dude. I don't know if I believe all the way.
You don't have to.
I think it's a nice concept, you know, and
you're not even required.
I've touched God before through mushrooms, but I don't know, dude. I'm just not buying it.
Well, God's a booger towel. He's not.
Right.
It's not always a pretty thing. You know?
Yeah, you're right, dude.
God's a booger towel. Fucking the beauty of it, and the beauty of Buddhism or whatever is you don't even necessarily need to believe that to experience the benefits of Buddhism or meditation or whatever, because it's about becoming, I don't know, this is going to sound really stupid, but it's about becoming like one with yourself. Recognizing that you are whatever it is that you are, whether it's no essence or it's one essence, you are still the same as everything, and you are then separated from the rest, everything, right? So if you are also one with everything, you're able to put separation between yourself and the way you think about stuff, right? Is what we're talking about a little bit yesterday. And so, like your thoughts, like you have separation from those thoughts, and you can kind of control where those thoughts go, and they don't affect you in the same way as if you just let that shit run, right? And the only reason you're able to do that is because you're able to recognize that. Oh, fucking, I don't even know where I'm fucking going. I sound like a fucking lunatic. Yeah, never mind, dude. You know what? Fucking, let's get off of this shit, dude.
Dude.
Wow, dude, I sound like a fucking nutcase.
No. You said a lot of good things, dude. I also I started thinking when you were like halfway through that, and then I was thinking about something, and then I popped back in like a minute later, and I was like, oh fuck, I have not been listening to anything he just said.
What were you
and
thinking
like he made a lot of giant leaps, you know.
Yeah.
During that time.
Well, the giant leap is that you caught one half of it, and then you listened to the very end.
No, that's just the way. That's just the way you talk. You talk in
right,
leaps.
Dude. I do talk in leaps.
And I'm like, oh, I'm never gonna be able to backtrack this. I'd have to go back 7 leaps, dude.
I got long legs.
Yeah. No, sorry, dude. I was thinking about that shitty salesman earlier. He pissed me off. But I still bought from him, which even makes me more mad at myself, you know.
Yeah, as a salesman, you shouldn't have fallen for bad sales.
I know, dude. I know. Didn't like it, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's just trying to get fucking money, feed his family, I guess, too. And but like he just did it in like a sleazy, like, talk really fast, off like negative discount, kind of buddy with me, ask a personal story, share knowledge, but like talk very fast. Oh, offer to do it as soon as possible. Oh yeah, and then by the way, can I get your card? At the very last end of it, after I already agreed to a certain number of things.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I even recognize all these tricks he's doing as he's saying them. And like, I still let myself fall into it. And upset me. But I think I'm upset at myself for being like, oh fuck, why did I do that? But also fuck him for putting the spell on me, Like don't put a spell on me to like I would have bought your pest control service,
Right. Yeah.
You didn't have to do that. But
I'm just confused as how you fell under the spell when you also are a man of the spell. It's like the same wizard, Same wizard school, different wizards.
More like one's a wizard, one's a warlock.
Right. Okay.
So different schools.
Different schools.
And that was the school that I was like give salesmen a bad name,
Right. Yeah.
Dark magic, if you will.
They're the assholes turning toads into three-eyed toads.
Yeah, or just using it to trick or manipulate you.
Right. Yeah.
Instead of like, oh, hey, you have a need. I have something. Let's talk about, how that makes sense for you. Right. Let me ask you a few questions, and or use the dark arts.
Yeah.
And just talk really quick.
You want to buy this, don't you?
Pressure.
You want to buy this? You've got some fucking need for this thing that I'm selling, dude. Oh, yeah. Man, I love your shirt, bro. You also...
Yeah, he did that, dude. He complimented my tattoo at one point.
Got him, Coach.
It just agreed with whatever I said. I said I was from... He was like, oh, you're from here originally? No, from Florida? Oh, yeah, my brother lives in Florida. And I was like, you don't have a fucking brother that lives in Florida and said it's really nice. Like, you don't.
Because he'd tell you it's not.
Well, yeah, because he how I know his line? Because he was like, oh yeah, I have a friend that my brother is from lives in Jacksonville. He says it's really nice. He really likes it there. And I was like, oh, that ain't true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So I don't. It pissed me off, but still, Warlock got me.
Still got you, dude. How much did you buy? Like, what did you buy?
It's like a bug service, which like I need, like we just bought this house. We need to get regular like pest control. But now I'm pretty motivated the other way though, which is the downfall of this of like using, selling that way.
Right.
Is that now I'm pretty motivated to like talk to a few people, figure out if I really want to go with this company or not, cancel my fucking appointment, have the guy show up and now it's like, oh, you know what? Actually, no, thank you. Like I thought about it and I don't want your service.
Yeah.
So, whereas like if you would have just talked to me like a normal person, hey, you just moved in? Do you currently have a pest control guy? Oh, no? Okay, man. Yeah, I mean, here's what we're offering. This is pretty standard, like for the area. How about it? I would have been like, hey, man, sounds good. Thanks.
Yeah. But now.
Anyway, pissed me off, dude. But then I got mad at myself, But then I got mad at him again. And now I fucking need to deal with this pest control thing because like now because he closed me by putting a timeline to it of like he's like we'll get you set for Monday, and like if you want to cancel just call me and let me know, but like we'll just go ahead and get you going on Monday. And I'm like, okay, so now shorten the timeline to where I don't even have that much time to think about it, and I'm much more likely to just go along with it because I don't want to deal with it.
Skeevy, dude.
Yeah. I didn't like the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm like, man, fuck that guy.
Yeah. Fuck that dude, bro.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, cancel that service, man. Get a different service.
But I need my house done. But yeah, you're right. I should now I'm gonna like find every way not to hire them now.
Yeah, find a better one. Find one that's not skeevy. Find one that's not sending people door to door.
Yeah, I just need a guy, just a local guy.
Yeah. There's a dude around somewhere. He's got all the chemicals in his garage. Doesn't let his kids out there.
Yeah, dude. I should text my neighbor. Actually, I've gotten to know some of the neighbors around now, so I can ask them, dude, which is cool. It's cool to know your neighbors.
I wonder if they've all got the same dude that came around.
Maybe he's just. You know what? At some point, real recognize real, dude. Like, it's Godspeed, man. Just get everybody on this fucking service, whatever.
The whole street's on the same service, bro. Smart, real smart. If you can do it, man. That's called monopolizing, and then you can charge that whole street whatever you want, dude. Well, that's not really how it works.
That's not how it works.
Because you can just cancel the service
in this area.
Different one,
But
right.
Yeah, I don't even know if you need like regular pest control. It sounds like you do, but like I don't know for sure.
We get like a termite spray every 6 months, stuff like that. I mean, it depends on what kind of bugs you got around. You guys got termites in Denver?
I think termites are a thing here. Yeah, a lot of wasp, I think, is the main thing.
Oh, wasps. I don't know. I didn't know you could spray preventative spray for wasps.
Yeah.
It's good. Dude, you might be better off just going and getting some fucking poison from Home Depot and walking around your house on the wall.
Just get my own poison. Yeah, you're right.
Just do it yourself, bro. Yeah, what do you need a service for? Put it on your calendar every 6 months. Boom, boom. Got to spray for pests.
Yeah, you're right, dude. Okay, I gotta research some fucking bugs.
Righto, dude. Righto, sounds good. Well, thanks for coming on with me, dude. Thank you, everybody listening. Someday you may listen to this podcast, possibly, if it ever gets put out someday. Love you.
I love you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.